Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this awesome suburban house. This suburban house has an extensive porch which reaches all the way around to the back of the house. It features a private study area which is separate from the main house. Inside of the main house, we have a lobby area. We have a kitchen on the ground floor, a cozy living room. As we walk up the stairs, we have two options. We can either go into the master bedroom, which has its very own ensuite bathroom as well. Did I mention the master bedroom has a pretty awesome balcony too? And upstairs in the loft area, we have another bedroom as well. If you enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helped me and the channel out immensely. And if you do enjoy this video enough to actually make the house, please share it with a friend, as that would really help me out too. And by the way, if you are interested in an interior tutorial, which is not something that I do very often, then please, all I'm asking is that you do hit that like, and if this tutorial gets enough support, I'm hoping 2,000 likes, then I will happily make an interior tutorial for you guys. I just don't want to make the interior for a house that not that many people are going to be interested in. I don't want to take up a video slot on my channel for something that, you know, not too many people actually like. So 2,000 likes and I'll happily make the interior step by step in a separate video for you guys. So let me know if that's what you want to see. If not, no problem. But that's enough jibber jabbering. I've turned into Mr. T for some reason. Let's get started. Okay, so before we begin, I can tell you that to make the house and the little bit outside too, we're going to require every single one of these materials. We might even need some more stuff later on. I'm very forgetful, but for now, this is the bulk of it. Pause the video, make sure that you have all of these things, and once you do have all this stuff, we can begin. Okay, so I can also tell you that the house will require a 32 block area by a 26 block area. So if you like, you can make this grid in your world if you're building it in a city or something where you have some sensitive areas that you don't want to really obscure. And if you do build this grid, you're going to want to start in the front left hand corner, counting to the right by 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then count inwards by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you see that way, if you have made the grid, we're both starting in the same position, which I think is quite important. So, begin by placing 11 pillar quartz block coming up from this position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You want to take this 11th pillar quartz block and you want to place 7 grey concretes coming up and backwards diagonally, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to do 6 bottom left diagonals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we want to do a diagonal using pillar quartz block. And we want to join it down to the ground. You might even want to make that top pillar quartz block face upwards like this. So we want to have something which should very much look like that. And we can even fill this in using grey concrete as well. The left side of the house doesn't really have any windows because a lot of the interior is heavily decorated, and if I add windows, then it's going to kind of make things difficult, as this is where I have placed my stairs, this is where I have a kitchen. if you would like to do the interior and add additional windows after the fact, then I would absolutely urge you to do so. It's just that I don't feel the need to do it with the way that I have the interior laid out. Hence why the entire left side is just completely grey concrete. What we also want to do is we want to take that 11th pillar quartz block at the front and the back as well later, and we want to extend the 11th block to the right using grey concrete, and you want to place a row of 15 grey concrete going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're then going to place a pillar quartz block and we're going to connect it down to the ground like this. And I'm going to make that top pillar quartz block face upwards. I then want to copy what I have on that side of the build onto this side, meaning that I want to take this pillar quartz block at the top and I want to place 7 upright diagonals going towards the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 6 bottom rights going down towards the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I want to place a pillar quartz block coming down diagonally as well, and I want to connect that down to the ground. And once again, I'm just going to fix that so that that's pointing upwards. There we go. Everybody's a little bit happier, meaning me. Okay, now that that's done, I'm also going to fill this area in using grey concrete as well. And the logic is the same. It's because a lot of my rooms are very, very heavily detailed, and I don't want to just randomly add windows in the house. I want them in specific places, and I don't want to have to work around them. I find it's better to make an interior first, and then add windows, and then you've pretty much just got complete and pure freedom. It's much easier to add windows later, especially if you plan on doing the inside, than it is to add windows first. Although there are some windows on this house that we will be adding in, just because I know that they're fine. So that's what we want to have on the sides of the house. And the back of the house, I've got to tell you, we might as well fill this in using grey concrete too. So I'm going to completely fill the back of the house in using grey concrete as high as the pillar quartz blocks. And we might even do this on the front of the house as well, as there is a very minimal amount of detail in terms of windows. A lot of the detail for this house comes from balconies, it comes from porches, it comes from the surrounding gardens. A lot of it comes from that sort of stuff rather than actual detail carved into the house. And I always do find that it is easier to just make a wall and then add stuff into it later. So that is the back of the house. And I do think that we're going to do it to the front of the house as well. Because why not? Let's completely... Actually, you know what? Since there is more detail on the front of the house, why don't we add a little bit of it now, okay? So, that we've filled in all of the sides of the house except the front. I want to start off by placing 2 rows of grey concrete connecting the front of the house together, so bottom to bottom like. I want to place 1 row of grey concrete, right, connecting the pillar quartz blocks together, and then I'm going to place another row of grey concrete directly on top, connecting both sides together like this. Then, starting from the left hand side here, I want to place a row of 5 grey concrete going right. 1, 2, it's actually a row of 4. 3, 4, like that. I don't want to get that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to place a white stained glass block, specifically a block, and then we're going to go up by 2, 1, 2, and then right by 2, 1, 2, and then down by 2, like this, to connect down to the ground. I'm going to use white stained glass paint, and on top of the middle 2 grey concrete blocks left of what we've made, I want to place a window. Very simple window, just in this position. And I'm going to place quartz slabs below the window, like this. I'm also going to come to the right side now, and starting from the right side, I want to place a row of 4 grey concrete blocks, moving left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the last 2 blocks, we're going to place glass pane, with quartz slabs below the glass pane, to give us something which should look like that. We're going to build up the rest of the area using grey concrete, around the windows, around the door, just to make everything as high as each other. We do have a tad bit more detail to add once we do get up towards the top of the build, but we'll add that and join it in the middle. So now that that has been done, I want us to now add a row of grey concrete, okay? I want us to add a row of grey concrete at the top of the build, starting from underneath the right side here. I want us to place 2 grey concrete going left. 1, 2. Followed by 2 glass. 1, 2. Followed by 3 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3. Place a block of quartz in front of that third. Okay. And then continue going left. We're going to go left now. And then we're going to build back on ourselves. Come to the edge here. And place 3 grey concrete coming inwards from the left going right. 1, 2, 3. Then place a block of quartz in front of that, so that we have this sort of thing. I then want us to take the block of quartz and extend them downwards, each by 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. Place a block of quartz in front of those last blocks, like this. That's perfect. And then I want you to place, it might actually be beneficial for us to place another row of block of quartz underneath these blocks. Okay, so place block of quartz underneath these blocks like this. And then I want you to place 2 block of quartz coming outwards from those extended down blocks. 1, 2, like that. And also 1, 2, like that. I then want you to join those 2 blocks together using a row of quartz slab. This is the upper half of the quartz blocks connected together left to right. I then want you to place grey concrete behind those slabs and extend the grey concrete inwards until it lines up with the frame of the house, just above the door. So from the outside we will have this sort of appearance, like this. That's looking pretty good. I want you to place an additional block of quartz underneath each one of the overhanging block of quartz that are connected together. And then, this is the tricky part, I want you to extend them inwards using pillar quartz block, like this. I then want you to place a block of quartz coming inwards from that. Join them together using quartz slabs in between the top. And place pillar quartz block coming down from each one of the pillar quartz block that we already had. So like this. And I'm also going to change the pillar quartz block so that they are facing upwards. So that's what we want to have so far. I also want to take the pillar quartz block on the ground and extend them towards us using a block of quartz like this. And I want you to place oakwood stairs in between them. And also a row of oakwood stairs above and inside from them. So you can see how we are kind of building up the entrance. I also want you to grab white stained glass pane and place white stained glass pane around the top of the balcony area, which is exactly what we have just about made. So what we also want to do is we want to take these blocks of quartz that we have at the top of the balcony. We want to place quartz stairs on the sides of them, the outsides of them facing outwards, and also on top of them, once again facing outwards as well, like this. We're going to place upside down quartz stairs moving inwards from the sideways stairs. And then sideways quartz stairs on top of these, coming upwards and inwards. And then again, we're going to place upside down quartz stairs coming inwards from those quartz stairs. And then sideways quartz stairs on top of that, coming upwards and inwards. We're then going to place a block of quartz in between them with a quartz slab on top. And the result of that should look exactly like this. And what we can do from here, very simple. We can fill in the entire wall using grey concrete, and we'll just carve out a doorway afterwards. So if you come inside, it's actually easier to see where you gotta fill in. Just place just rows and rows and rows of grey concrete inside the house, building up the wall like that. Oh, and even also just above here too, because you just got to remember underneath the little overhang like that. That's perfect. I'd also recommend placing quartz slabs underneath this little window that we have here to the right. That'd be pretty cool too. And we're also going to create a doorway. So the door is going to be right in the middle of the balcony. So destroy, destroy. And we're going to have glass next to the doorway. So destroy, destroy, place some glass block in there. We're going to have sideways facing quartz stairs on top of the glass like this. Join the stairs together with a quartz slab at the top and extend it upwards. And that's a really nice looking doorway. So that is a significant amount of the house complete. So the next thing that I want to do before we shuffle on to anything else is I want to complete the extension on the right hand side. The part where I have the study is pretty much what I want to do. So let's talk about the study. On the right side of the build, we want to come all the way down to the bottom, okay? The bottom from right hand corner of the build. And we want to count inwards by not 1, but 2. So we're taking the second grey concrete block. So we're going to take this block and extend it outwards by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're then going to take that 7th block and we'll extend it upwards by 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to place 5 up right diagonals coming towards the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 diagonals coming down towards the back this time. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to connect that down to the ground like this. And then we're going to join it on the right hand side as well. We're just going to join it all together. We're going to fill this side in using grey concrete. So this is the right side, this is the large part. We're actually not going, surprisingly, we're not going to be filling in the front and the back parts entirely with grey this time. We're going to be adding a little bit of variety. So once we do have this filled in with grey concrete, we can add that variety that we just talked about. So you want to have something which should look exactly like this. And then once you've done that, we now on the side here, the left side conjoined to the house, we want to go up on top of this block. And we want to go up on top of it until it is equal in height with the row just to the right of us. So you just want to extend it up and connect it to the right like that. We are going to split this area up the middle. So we're going to use a row of grey concrete to split the area. I'm going to place upside down quartz stairs inside of the top of this. So I want to place upside down quartz stairs in the tops of the windows. And I want white stained glass pane below them coming down like this. I also want to split the middle by using a row of pillar quartz block like this, coming up as high as the, and I do think that that's correct. We'll make it as high as the grey concrete, but we might have to destroy that in a moment. I also want to add an additional row of pillar quartz block, which is going to come out of the front right hand corner of this area. And that row of pillar quartz block I'm also going to make as high as that part too. I want to place upside down quartz stairs in front of the windows like this. I want to place it in front of the windows at the top, joining the pillar quartz blocks together like that. And I'm also going to place a row of quartz slab extended outwards in front of the upside down quartz stairs and coming out in front of the pillars. I'm going to destroy the top of the pillars because I was right in thinking that that would actually get in the way. And we're actually going to build up the roof a little bit. We'll build up this side of the roof so that you can see how it goes. So we're now going to place a row of stone brick stairs on top of the upside down row of quartz stairs. And then we're slowly going to build up these stone brick stairs coming all the way up to the top, where it will eventually reach an apex using the stone slabs. So you can see how the roof is going to go. This part of the roof is actually quite simple. And in a moment, once we have completed this particular part of the roof, we will be detailing the back of the study area, which is what this is for me, although there is many different options on what you might want to use this area for. I personally like a little private study, a little getaway, a man cave if you will, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to place upside down stone brick stairs underneath all of the overhanging stairs, and at the top we're going to place a solid stone brick underneath the slab at the top. So that is what we want to have so far. Now on the back part of this, we want a parallel, we pretty much want the same thing basically. So we want to grab our grey concrete and we want to join the wall together. So from this grey concrete block, we're going to extend to the right and then down like this. We're going to split up the middle using grey concrete. We're going to place upside down quartz stairs underneath the top parts of these, with white stained glass pane underneath the stairs like this, like that. We're going to place upside down quartz stairs. Where do I want to place them? Did it go in front of the... Let me just check the front because it's actually very confusing too. Okay, so we're going to place a row of upside down quartz stairs in front of the upside down quartz stairs that we have, and it is also going to come all the way to the side, like it's going to span the entire part of this build. I'm going to place a pillar quartz block coming off of the corner, and I want it to be as high as the upside down quartz stairs that we have. And I'm also going to place a row of upside down of pillar quartz block joining to the middle upside down stairs here. And then this is where I don't think it makes a difference. You could extend it upwards so that it joins like these stairs, but because we're going to be placing quartz slab in front of the upside down stairs and stuff, like it really doesn't make much of a difference whatsoever. So we want to have this, and then we're going to place stone brick stairs coming up the side here. We're going to have stone brick stairs coming up the side, just as we did on the front, and this is going to be the roof of the little lounging area. I guess it's kind of like a man cave, although I'd prefer to call it like a study area. I don't really like the term man cave for some reason. I don't like how that sounds, but a little study area sounds kind of like fancy, so I think that we're going to go with that. It's kind of like a little private study area. I've got like a little library in mine, a couple of chairs, a little bit of like a jukebox sort of situation going on. Nice and cozy, really. So we want to have something which should look exactly like this now. So that's the side, and that's the back, and the back is the same as the front. So there's really not too much that went wrong there. So on this side of the house, we have a bit of a decking area. All right, there's a decking area that comes from the front right-hand corner of the study, and it goes to the back right-hand corner of the study as well. So what I'm going to do from this pillar quartz block that I have here, and we need a couple of different blocks. We pretty much just need our like oak stuff, and I'm going to place a row of 3 oak wood stairs coming out from in front of the pillar. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to place a pillar quartz block. Going to go up on top of it. I'm going to place 2 quartz slabs going right of the pillar. 1, 2. And then pillar quartz block coming upwards from that. Equal in height to the first one. I'm going to come to the back now. And I want to do a similar sort of thing. I want to take this back corner. And I want to place a row of 3 oakwood stairs coming out. 1, 2, 3. And then a pillar quartz block. 1 on top. I'm going to place 2 quartz slabs coming outwards. 1, 2. And then pillar quartz block. 1 on top. Like this. I'm going to join the pillar quartz together front to back. Like so. Just like this. And I'm going to place oakwood planks in between them. At the front and the back. So I actually don't want this to join in between the house. I'm actually going to fill in between the house this little bit in here. I'm going to add a row of block of quartz just to join that together because it kind of separates the area a little bit better. I'm also going to need some glass paint because I want some glass paint to kind of go all the way around this walkway. It further just like makes borders around the house, which I like as well. So you know, you kind of got to explore a little bit, which is how you would find the study. And speaking of the study entrance, I'm going to make it right in the center of the study building. I'm going to place some pillar quartz block left and right of the entrance, and maybe just like, I don't know, like quartz stairs on top of it, like this, and maybe like quartz slab in between, and then upwards. You know, something like that for the entrance. It doesn't have to be insanely fancy. You could, if you wanted to, even add windows like left and right, although I'm not going to because, again, it's got enough windows and stuff on this particular part of the build, so I don't really want to add any more, to tell you guys the truth. So now, once that has been done, we have to add the porch area, okay? So the porch area is quite easy to make. I want you to grab first of all, we're going to grab grey concrete. And starting from in front of the front right hand corner of the house, or kind of close to it, we want to take this block here, right? And we want to place 3 grey concrete coming outwards from this block. So that's going to look like 1, 2, 3. And we want to come all the way to the back corner of the house. And we want to take this block and we want to place 3 grey concrete coming out from this, like 1, 2, 3. And what we want to do is we want to basically extend all the way around. We want to connect these 3 rows together. So we want to take all of those rows of grey concrete and we want to wrap them around the house, so to speak. So you're going to have 3 rows of grey concrete, and this is going to make the porch area for the house, is essentially what we're making now. So this is going to make up the porch area. So add all of your rows of grey concrete. And then on top of this, we're going to be adding some oak wood planks as well. So that's what's going to be next. And the oak wood planks is going to be the basis of the walkway around on top of the porch. So like this. And then we're going to place the oak wood plank blocks coming all the way around the house, just wrapping around like this on top of the grey concrete. And once that has been done, we will make the frame of the porch, because this is the part that we walk around, right? This isn't like the main big part that looks all like fun and fancy. This is just how we're going to be walking around the house. So just add on your oak wood planks and then we can move on to the next part. Okay, that's perfect. So once you have done that, there's now a few places that we want to place some pillar quartz block. So if we start from the back, you want to place a row of pillar quartz block coming out of the back corner of the porch. And it's a row of 5 coming up from the ground, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that, coming out of that corner of the porch. The same coming out of this corner as well, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then on this corner as well, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. And there's just one more, this corner too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can tell that, like, it's pretty obvious where they would go before you've even placed them. So what we now want to do is we want to join the porch together in a couple of places. We want to place quartz slab going around the top of the oak wood planks, around the top of the porch, connecting all of the pillar quartz blocks together. So that's what we want to do at the bottom. And we're going to be doing a similar thing at the top as well, but we're going to be doing that in due time. So just connecting it all the way around like this. And then we want to take the row of quartz slab, and every other block we want to place a quartz slab on top of, like that. So we're creating railings is essentially what we're doing, and once more we want to, every other block, just place quartz slab. It should be fairly easy to dot these around your porch, like that. We then want to place a row of quartz slab that goes all the way around on top of that. So just half a row above it, a lot of those blocks will turn into actual proper quartz blocks, which will make the top of the railing, and all of the others will remain nice and empty, giving a nice, stylish porch area. We also want to connect the top of the porch together using quartz blocks, and you can even like join it to the house as well, by the way. So we want to join all of this together, like around the top. I can't believe how easy and smoothly this is actually going together. I'm actually surprised. I thought that this would actually be a lot more difficult than this. So I am quite pleasantly surprised by this. So we're going to join that there, and also to the house too, like that. And where we have the corners of the porch, where the quartz slab does join to the actual pillar quartz block, I'm going to extend it down these slabs like this, just like that. And I'm just going to make it look a little bit fancier as we go around the porch. That's pretty much all that's for, just to make it look a little bit fancier, like that. And here, just in the corners pretty much, even where it connects to the house you can do it, although it makes it a bit tricky to walk down. Now, speaking of walking down, I'm going to, on the edges of the porch, you'll notice that like it kind of drops off. Well, we have to make a walkway down. So I'm just going to destroy this middle plank. I'm going to place an oak wood stairs and then one joining down like this. And I'm just going to place something just so that we're not going to fall off. So maybe some like block of quartz, something like that. Actually, that kind of like ruins the vibe. So maybe like something like this, and then like that, something like that would actually be fine. And then you could even have like additional quartz slabs so nobody falls or anything like that. So like that'd work out nicely. And we basically just want ways to get down off of the porch. So here as well, oak wood stairs, oak wood stairs. I also want to place quartz slabs here, here, and here. Why not? And then that way, you know, you're not just going to randomly fall off the porch. I think that actually looks kind of okay. That's not too bad. It actually looks a little, it does actually look a little bit weird. So maybe we don't need these ones at the bottom, and maybe we do just stick with the grey concrete like that. So that is like the edge of the porch complete. We can now get up and down from it and all of that fun stuff. Now we're going to use stone brick stairs, okay? And we're going to fill in the top of the porch with stone brick stairs. So we're going to focus on this right side first. So where we have this row of like quartz block, quartz slab, quartz block, we're going to place a row of stone brick stairs leading from the first quartz block to the balcony like this. We're then going to place another row, just half a row above like this, or just an entire row above. And then we're going to place another row. So you can see it's quite logical how you would fill in the actual top of the porch. We're going to place upside down stone brick stairs like this. And if we come from the right hand side, we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to take this block of quartz here, and we're going to run an entire row of stone brick stairs around the front side of the house, coming all the way to the back side of the house, and it's just going to join on top of the edge of the porch here. And I'm going to preemptively place an upside down stone brick stairs. I'm going to place one on top, and then that will allow us to extend around, and this will join us to the left side of the balcony. And then of course you might figure out what's going to be happening next. Once we have done that, we're going to go one step above, and we're going to place another row of stone brick stairs that goes just up and around the side of the house, and it will stop on the edge of the balcony as well, just like this. Whoop, no, not quite, just like that. So you can see that once that's been done, I'll show you from the front because that's the most complicated part. That is the roof of the balcony complete, which is looking really, really, really good. And what else? Well, the other thing is, I want to just clean up a little bit. So like, for instance, like I want to place an oak door where we have the actual entrance. On the back, we actually don't have a back door yet, but the back door, I do believe, it's not this first row of grey concrete, but I made it the second row. So like if you're on the back corner, you leave the first row of grey concrete alone. The second is going to be the door. And also, there is a small window on the back. If you take the upper half of the door and you leave a gap of 2, and then destroy the next 2, like you leave a gap of 2, and then you have the next 2, then we're going to place some glass pane there. That's perfect. And you can either place quartz slabs underneath that, or you could add some plants or something. And then from here, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do the roof. And then we can do all of the little bits around the outside of the house as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. So that's what we have so far. And for the roof on the main part of the house is a little bit different, okay? So we're going to start off by placing rows of stone brick stairs that starts... Where is it going to start? It's going to start from in front of the top pillar quartz block. We're going to place a row of stone brick stairs that leads from one side all the way over to the other side, okay? And then we're just going to build up those rows. That's all we're going to do for this time being. We're just going to build up those rows like this, and we're just going to stay on the frame of the actual roof. And that way we're not going to get into any weird trouble. And I'll tell you what I mean by that in a moment. So we're just going to build up and down. The apex of the roof is going to be stone brick slabs. And I'm going to be quiet for this part, otherwise I'll just talk about nothing. So up and down the roof using stone bricks. Don't make it overhang just yet. And once that's done, we can clean up the house a little bit, add a couple of different details. Okay, so that is the roof pretty much almost done. The last little bit of detail that I want to add is that I want to place quartz stairs coming off of the sides of the roof. So typically where we would usually just use like, I don't know, some like, where we'd usually just use some like stone brick stairs as well, just to kind of like keep with the theme. This time we're putting a quartz stair trim on it instead. And of course, we want to have upside down quartz stairs underneath the trim too. There is an option as well, if you would like to take the top of the roof, and if you'd like to make it into quartz slabs rather than stone brick slabs, then that's something that you may like to have. So like that's the side, and that looks pretty cool. And we also have to join like the little balcony area here. I'm just going to use a row of quartz slabs to join that together. And I'm going to make these stairs face sideways. Why am I having difficulty with that? So, I don't know why that's actually being weird. But if we place it like that, there we go. And I guess it's because it just immediately went sideways, which is a bit strange. But yeah, that's the little middle part there. And if we come to the side, where once again we're going to pop out the quartz stairs, put them on the edge of the roof, and it will just look a little bit nice. And you do have the option of making the apex, which is the tippity top middle part. You can make that out of quartz slab as well, if you like, but that's completely up to you. Kind of unnecessary if you ask me, but if you want that little touch, you know, it will make a little difference, but that's kind of up to you whether you like it or not. And we're just going to build the upside down quartz stairs coming all the way down like this. So once we've actually done that, we've actually done like a huge part of the house now, right? That's actually the physical house itself complete. But if you do want to add some additional touches to the outside of the house, similar to what I've done, right? Then you're gonna need like the terracotta. You're gonna need the wooden trapdoors. You're gonna need this sort of stuff. The sort of stuff that I have like in my inventory right now, and I've actually forgotten a material, which is kind of annoying to me, but you know, we'll cover that in just a moment. So this is the sort of stuff that I'm going to be using right now. Let's get into it. So pause the video if you have to. We're going to be whipping out this sort of stuff, flowers and what have you. So left and right of the main entranceway, I'm just going to place some glazed terracotta with jungle leaves inside them, because I think that makes like a nice potted plant. I might even extend them up to the ceiling. You can even do a similar thing around the back. Like on the back, you could even perhaps place like another glazed terracotta just next to the back door if you wanted to. And what I was talking about earlier is you could even make some planters and stuff and place them on the porch, which is basically just grass blocks with wooden trapdoors around them and some varying flowers and stuff inside of them. But whilst we are on the back part of the porch, like this area here is actually kind of like sectioned off, meaning that I've kind of like put a little fence around this area here. And I'm going to plant some flowers and stuff as well, some like rose bushes, some azure bluettes, or however one would pronounce that, I've got no clue. I might destroy this end stair and place like a cauldron, a couple of jungle leaves in there instead. I might even lay the stair out a little bit better, so I might use like a path, like a grass path, and I might like join this together here, maybe like funnel out the path in a little bit of a funky way like that. That looks kind of cool. Might even place like an additional like a little bluette there too. Why not? I want to do a similar thing like, oh, and of course, like you can also place like, once more, you know, decorate the house as much as you like, but like planters around the place would look just fine. Maybe put like some like rose bushes in these ones, and maybe put some cauldrons next to it with some bushes in them as well. You know, if you just want to lighten the place up, of course. And that probably needs a door too, like this right side. Just here would be the door. And I'm also going to destroy that too, and I'm going to place like some jungle leaves in there just to make it look a little bit fancy. Yeah, that definitely looks better, right? I'm also going to place like a fence leading from the pillar quartz block here just to the left, just to kind of like fence that area off a bit. I'm going to place some planters underneath these windows as well. I'm going to make these grass blocks with wooden trapdoors in front of them, like this. Maybe place some, maybe rose bushes on the side, and maybe some like poppies in the center, something like that. It would be better if there was a color contrast though, but hey, what are you gonna do? And we can even, I mean, you could either do this, you could either have like, a wooden path perhaps. Perhaps you kind of want like a decking sort of effect, kind of like a wooden path leading from here and here, just to kind of like take you back to the house like this. That looks just fine. Or perhaps you want to have, and this is what I'm going to put just out in front of here, I'm going to put a little bit of a grass path because it kind of just takes the edge off of the house. I'm just going to knock a grass path into the floor like that. Just, again, just to kind of like take the edge off the house a little bit. You could either use stone brick slabs for this, or you can use stone slabs. I like stone slabs as they're a little bit softer. I'm going to create like a couple of flower beds out in front of the house. So I'm going to extend the quartz blocks that we have here outwards by 1 using stone slabs. And I'm going to take the edges of the porch and I'm going to place 2 stone slabs coming out from the edges of the porch like this. and I'm going to join those together, like the left sides I'm going to join together using stone slabs, and the right sides I'm also going to join together using stone slabs. I don't know why I separated those. And then I'm just going to place some rose bushes towards the back here, right in the middle. And I'm just going to place the azure bluettes, or however, again, I don't know how to pronounce it. It sounds French to me. I'm going to place this all the way around. And that's actually reminding me that we have forgotten one little detail around the house. And by the way, that's looking a lot better, right? And before we add this extra detail, I'm also going to place a couple of planters up here, just left and right of the balcony. I'm just going to place some like jungle leaves and stuff like inside here, maybe just a single one. And you can even place a little bit of a carpet if you want to spruce this up, but that might also depend on... well, I mean, it kind of doesn't depend because this house has kind of got a little bit of a red theme in it as well. So you might even want to place like a little bit of a red carpet just here, just in front of the balcony. You could even do a similar thing like as a little bit of a doormat as well. I like carpet in builds that takes you places. So like if a carpet kind of like leads you around a house, I like doing that. You know, like in games sometimes, right? Like in a game, sometimes you won't know where to go. You get lost, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? And the way that sometimes a game will help you is that it will like leave a little dust trail or a little treasure trail. And that is essentially what we are doing by placing a little bit of red carpet about the place. Absolutely optional. You don't have to do this, although it will also add another color into your build, and a lot of color is something that I really do like adding to my build. Now, whether that's ruined for you or whether you like it, whether you hate it, that's completely up to you. Don't add the carpet if you don't like it, but I do kind of like just adding a little bit of just like mystique. So I mean, you don't even have to like join it all together or anything like that, but you could just have like, you know, kind of like, I don't know, something like this, just kind of like a little bit like a doormat sort of thing, or not, completely up to you. Anyway, that detail that I forgot was adding quartz slabs underneath the decking, which I've now made difficult for myself. I actually want to join the entire base of the decking together using quartz slabs, and as I say, but because I've placed the rose bushes, it's made it a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to destroy the rose bushes, put them back, and it is a little detail that I do like, so I am willing to add it, I suppose. But you know, I'm going to join the base of the decking together using quartz slab, just because I do like how it does contrast nicely with the grey concrete. Because I don't know, like white, grey, oak, they all go together so nicely, and any color goes with that too, which is really cool. Like any color kind of goes with that color combination. But you can see the house is looking a lot nicer. It's looking a lot brighter, right? It's looking a lot more interesting. And what else are we gonna do? Well, here's an option for you. You might, around the decking area or the porch area, you might want to intermittently add some sort of light, like around the top of the porch. So in adding some like sea lanterns and stuff, you know, I'm doing it very sloppily now, but you know, I'd obviously take more time if you know, if this was my actual like proper house that I really wanted to look perfect. But if you add some like lighting to it, then you know it really does make quite a bit of difference to the house. You might even want to also pop a door into the balcony area too, if you so wish. And yeah, that's looking pretty nice. The last thing that I kind of want to instruct you guys on, just to help you out a little bit, where the floor is, but it should be fairly simple, right? So I'm actually going to do this myself to set myself up, just in case I am doing the interior tutorial, just in case I've got to do it. The floor for the house is, the first floor is set directly where the door is, right? Meaning, so like you want to walk out into the entrance into the center of the house, right? And I'm going to place oak wood planks for a door. That's for the first floor. The second floor is block of quartz, and that's quite easy to find too, right? So the second floor being block of quartz is where the balcony is, so you want to be able to walk out from the balcony directly onto the floor. So I'm sure that you guys would manage that without too much trouble. Now the next floor, this is a little bit different. The next floor starts and it's also made out of quartz too, by the way. It starts where the roof starts, meaning as soon as you see the whoops, I hit my microphone. As soon as you see these stone brick stairs, like on the sides of the house, that's how you know. So you can see where the 3 floors are going. And I'm also going to, because I'm going to be cutting out for a second to clean up the house, and I'm also going to come in here, and I'm going to re-floor this as well using oak planks. And once again, this is all going to be pivotal should I do the interior tutorial. So this is all going to be very, very important. So if you plan on hoping to, you know, get this video to 2,000 likes, then it's going to be important that all of that is done ready for when I do the interior. But I'll tell you what, guys, that is the tutorial pretty much done, right? I mean, that's really, I'm really happy with that. I'm so pleased with that. I really am. I'm going to delete all the numbers and stuff, clean it up, and then we'll have a bit of a tour around the house. We'll do a bit of a loop, and I'll do floors and stuff. So back in a moment. Oh, also, very, very small detail. I have, in the original, destroyed just in front, in between the flower beds, and I also made that oak wood planks, but I mean, that's such a tiny thing. It's up to you whether you want to do that. And this is what the house should look like once it has been 100% fully completed. This is one of my favourite suburban houses that I have made. It's incredibly colourful. I've missed a green concrete there in the corner, and you know what? As much as OCD is killing me, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that you guys have enjoyed building this as much as I enjoyed building it, and as much as I enjoyed designing it as well. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button. I'd really would appreciate that. I honestly would if you hit that like. And if you have liked the video enough to actually make it this far right to the end, then please share it with a friend. I bet that they'd love it too. Who knows? Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. I hope they would. Anyway, if you want to keep up to date with the channel, subscribe and click the little bell. That ensures you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. Very important. If you want to make anything else by me, and we have a huge variety of stuff on the channel, you can see all of it surrounding me. That's all in the card system, description below. That's up there and down there. You'll be able to find that no problem. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate every single one of you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.